Okay, we're back to continue trading this small account. Just a reminder, we started off with $250 last week. We're trading one micro NASDAQ future contract at a time until we can build up and start scaling in multiple contracts, 2, 3, 4, etc. Today's Wednesday, February 8th. Looking on the economic calendar on MarketWatch, we have like 5 Feds talking throughout the day today, with a few of them just between 9:15 a.m. and 10 a.m. So we need to just keep that in mind and be cautious. I honestly don't know how much weight these people have when they speak compared to Powell. But it's just worth noting that they are speaking, so we just want to be cautious around these key times, which we typically are anyways, especially 10 a.m. Market's about to open. It's open right now. Before we even start looking at some trades, I just want to go over my chart setup very briefly and quickly. On the left side, I have 3 NASDAQ charts. I just have a daily, a 15-minute candle, which I use very infrequently, and then the main one I look at is the 5-minute candle chart. I only keep VWAP, the volume, on the side, and then since we just opened, it's not going to display the volume profile yet, but under drawing tools, there's volume profile. You can click and drag between time frames to get the volume profile to kind of see the point of control, which is really what I look for. But when you put it on your chart, you can double click on it and then start it at 9:30 and end it at like 4 p.m. Save as default, apply and save, and then it should put that on your chart every day between those hours. In the middle, the main chart that I trade off of is a range chart. So where the 5-minute candle chart, every 5 minutes, we get a candle printed based on obviously the movement and the opening and the close. A range chart doesn't matter the time. It only prints these little candles based on if the market moved X amount of ticks in a specific direction. So right now we have it on 6 ticks. So every time the market moves 6 ticks up, it will print a candle. Every time it moves 6 ticks down, it will print a candle. If the market were to go up and down 5 ticks, we're not going to get a candle. We'll see it, but it's not going to actually print and stay on there. So you can have a ton of candles within a very short time period if the market moves a lot. Up until just now, I always traded the NASDAQ with a 22 range. So every time it moved 22 ticks. I don't really remember changing it to 6, but we've been doing pretty good the last couple weeks for this channel, so we're just gonna leave it there and see how we do. At one point, I think I really want to reset that back to 22, but again, we're on like day 8, so we'll just leave it there. On the right hand side is a copy of the charts from the NASDAQ, but it's ES. So we have a day, 15-minute, and a 5-minute. I use the same volume on the side and then the same volume profile along with VWAP. I just like having the ES up. Sometimes the ES moves before the NASDAQ. And a lot of times they're moving similar, so I like to wait to see confirmation on NASDAQ and ES before getting into a trade. Then on the bottom is just the performance center. Just using this to keep track of my trades throughout the day. That's really pretty much it. I'll put a link to a video of another trader slash YouTuber where I kind of took some ideas. He helped me a lot in the beginning days of trading, so I'll put that there. And if you want, he probably goes a little more in depth in the chart setups than I just did. This was just something quick for a commenter, but been open almost 5 minutes now. Strong downward trend, which is getting bought right back up. Yesterday, after Powell spoke, had a massive rip, massive dump, massive rip. Overnight sessions just kind of ranging in the highs from yesterday, and that's where we're left off today. Be interesting to see how it plays out based on those moves, and then with some Feds speaking. But we've got our brackets, and we're just going to look for a couple trades and get in and get out. Again, here's my bracket settings that I trade on NASDAQ. It's set in ticks, so you need to divide these numbers by 4 to get how many points. But let's put it on value just so we can see. And this is for the micro NASDAQ, so take profit 40 bucks, stop loss $20, profit trigger. With our auto break even, we have a profit trigger at 20, which means when we move to $20 of profit, it's going to move our stop from minus $20 to plus $14. So to lock in a green trade. And then of course we can, if we continue moving, we could hit our take profit, exit manually, move our stop, or whatever we decide to do. I just zoom out and scroll back. I think I did this earlier, but just to be sure that all the data from this session is loaded from 5 p.m. yesterday, I like to scroll out, drag the charts all the way back, make sure all the bars are loaded in to get the correct VWAP bands. In the 5-minute charts, now that we have at least our first bar printed, we're starting to get the line for the point of control. And then you can see kind of the area, the range for this morning session. I want to see NASDAQ come up and test VWAP in the 40s. ES is doing that right now, testing its VWAP. I put a sell at like 43. Well, we missed getting filled there by a couple ticks. Came up and touched 42, so we missed by 1 point. I'm going to take that off. I don't trust another test of it. I'm going to buy down here in the low 20s or mid 20s. We're right above the standard deviation, the -1 deviation. And I think we may go test VWAP again. We've got our stop at 16. If we can move up to 36, it's going to move our stop automatically into the low 30s. So we got our stop moved up to 33. And we got stopped out there for 7 points. I'm gonna buy on VWAP. Still felt pretty strong. Point control's at 30. Okay, well, we got stopped out. Maybe I probably should have waited for us to get a little closer to point of control, so our 10 points of stop would have been below the point of control. I kind of just jumped into that one. It was a bad entry. I didn't even pay attention to the point of control flipping up from wherever it was down here in the low 700s. Okay, we're gonna buy here on point of control. I wanted that stop to, I wanted to move it down to 30, but before we could, we hit it, but still a green trade. And I feel like we push back up to VWAP though, mid 40s, maybe 50. It's kind of frustrating, so I need to just take a few minutes. Those two trades we made kind of back to back, which I don't advise. I was kind of pissed that I didn't notice the point of control. I wouldn't have taken this trade had I realized that, but I was too focused on kind of wanting to get into a trade, so that's my bad. I mean, it's good that we've took a green trade right afterwards, but I'm going to just sit on my hands for the next, about 10 minutes. Maybe wait till after 10. Somebody was speaking at 10, so let's wait a little after 10 to make the next trade. Like a buy down here at the lows on the day. We keep ranging between this like 60 and 700 level. I wanted that entry to be closer to 70, but this works. It's gonna have to work because we're in. Let's let these brackets play out for us. There's another 7 points. I was really wanting that entry to be down like at 70. ES and NASDAQ are telling very different stories. NASDAQ, we keep going and testing the lows, whereas the ES is making new higher lows and new lower highs. So eventually we're going to have to break out of this little triangle guy. I don't know the name of all the different patterns, but I do know something's going to happen with making lower highs and higher lows. Just a matter of which way are we going to break out. I guess NASDAQ is kind of doing the same thing. It's just easier to see that on the ES. And then with the NASDAQ going and testing the lows on the day, I think if we break through those lows, we may get a pretty strong push down. There it is. Point of control did flip down to 680. We'll see if this is just a fake breakout, triggering some stops for people. Point of control moved down again on the NASDAQ, another 10 points. See if that's an indication, push up or a push down. Typically when it's this close to the lows, we get a nice power move up. I just don't want to test that with creating new lows as well. But when point of control is flipped down to the bottom this close, I typically do like buying. We definitely could have bought when that happened at 70. Gotta buy up here at 92. I think if we start making a new high, also moving a lot, so it could just sweep right down and stop us out. Alright, we're in one at 92. Stop at 82. Need to get to at least 702 to lock in a green trade. It wants to break free up here, but having a hard time. Alright, well, we're out there. I really thought that we would get a push up into the low 700s. Down $6 right now on the day. 2 green, 2 red. Basically break even. Our gross profit and loss is $1, but with the commission fees off of those trades, we're down 6. We need to wait for breaking past this -1 standard deviation. If we get into the low 700s, alright, well, it's just one of those days where it seems like everything I think it's about to do, it's going to just do the opposite. So instead of continuing to trade and hitting my daily loss, I'm going to just stop there at -28. Our hard stop is at 40. We're just giving back $28, and just recognizing that it's just not one of those days that we're going to do very good. Took 6 trades, and 3 were good, 3 were bad. The three profitable trades honestly didn't feel that good anyways. Compared to yesterday, it was like I just felt like I was on point. Today we're just not getting that, so I'm gonna just hang it up there and see you guys tomorrow. Alright, I couldn't help myself getting into a short up here at VWAP. ES is at the highs of its day. We came up and tested VWAP. I'm expecting a little pullback. I'm gonna take off those take profit stop loss and put a manual stop loss in. Stop loss doesn't really matter. If we go just a few points in the wrong direction, we're gonna get stopped out on our risk settings. And there it is. We should have just walked away when we were deciding to walk away. Okay. See you guys tomorrow.